This is the 389th ordinary session of the Politburo of ZANU-PF, episode 389. It started this morning at 10 a.m. because in ZANU-PF, ladies and gentlemen, even lateness is counter-revolutionary. And ED and Chiwi walks into the room and nobody comes out alive with a statement yet. But what has happened so far, even before we see today's Politburo meeting, Love Moma Tuke arrives at 8:32, looking like he is already in tomorrow, like with all the gossips. At 9:26, Chiwenga rose in and he's wearing facial expression of a man who knows exactly where the ammunition is kept. Remember, we see him in military fatigues a few days ago. Was it a message or what? It was a message, definitely, because us seeing him in those military fatigues, we got a message. Whatever we thought, and the message can only be one. Does it mean? What does it mean? For who it means to who? Right now, Chiwenga is the most popular politician in Zimbabwe. As a symbol of hope. Yes, we see a whole lot of support, ladies and gentlemen. A whole lot of support on him. And we see him again trending. President Mnangagwa arrives after Chiwenga, 9:55. The Varakashi choir is on Twitter, aka formerly known as Twitter. Power in motion and translation. The convoy had 270 cars and one guy streaming it like it's a World Cup final. Mnangagwa is even seen on the sunscreen waving hands. Now the president gives an opening speech that is 12 minutes. Pure unity, smoothie. We're talking the same Mnangagwa we see. Do we say blue ticking Cyril Ramaphosa during his time of his own personal sanctions in South Africa following the G20 not 30 saga happening in South Africa? We see him rubbing shoulders with Zambia's Hakainde Hichilema. Then apparently we don't see any solidarity or hear any solidarity from ED in terms of Cyril Ramaphosa with all that is happening. Then we see him emerging right now, right here. In Tanzania, we see Samia Suluhu now speaking. And Samia Suluhu now, like, she must not get our African women undermined. Like the type of drama we see her in. She thinks she is Cyril Ramaphosa, somebody who has just the respect that he is somebody who is African enough to accept a GNU. It's an achievement to be able to do what Masisi did in Botswana, conceding to an electoral defeat, to be able to accept, to work with other people who represent interests that you don't represent, like we see happening in South Africa. Now ED talks about NDSS2 Vision 2030. NDSS2, I think it means National Development Strategy. Number 2. So yes, this strategy, whatever it is, I don't know about it, but it exists somewhere. I've heard about it being talked about on the radio. Agriculture, mining, tourism, AI, basically everything, except the giant elephant in the room wearing camouflage and medals, ladies and gentlemen. we're talking about the man showing on the screen right about now, the elephant. Insiders say the real agenda, or can we still call it a resolution since you are in December? People should be making New Year's resolution. This one is 2030 resolution. Insiders say the real agenda, ED, should stay until 2030, or should we pretend the constitution still matters? It has pushed to a secret item number 11 and a half. Apparently 11 was any other business and 12 was tea. So they spotted that. So that it's in the future of Zimbabwe, right there in the middle. So we're seeing there are 5 moments happening at the Zimbabwe Politburo meeting there that we're waiting to look into, ladies and gentlemen. We begin not from where we are, but from where we are.
Kuna vanenge vachita vawandaka, kune madragi, kune anongofuma achingonyuka kuti ndaane mari pano, chivakai mafactory kana mari dzakakuwandirai vanhu vaone.
Kune vari kungonyuka, kune madragi, chivakai mafactory kana mari dzakakuwandirai. So we are hearing him speaking that tone. What is he saying? He's just speaking what he's saying. And then he says, Chiwenga kama factory. Meaning kuti, he as Chiwenga, maybe he thinks on things like that. Akazvimirira ega. Where did the funds come from? We see him in wheat farming, things like that. Around 2017, area after 2017, actually. Where we were doing farming, things like that. Before the only talk in ZANU-PF is now about 2030. So there is an issue about empowering those willing to be farming wheat. Now we don't hear about that talk. Around the same time we see could I watch the great bills RBC and he was very brilliant in that. So actually I didn't know that there are actually bloodthirsty superstitious fools who exist to think but they are nobodies. And should anybody be anybody to anybody, nobody are entitled to anything from another person who is not them. Whoever it is, we are here speaking politics. These guys, they are there running our resources. It's not the nation, it is our nation. We, the natives, we, the aborigines of this area, even if we go anywhere, be it in the United States of America, we work and we buy properties. So what we want is a Zimbabwe where we can industrialize, where we can do nation building. Chiwenga is talking about building industry. I usually make fun of what the guys in Zimbabwe do. One of building, one office. Office. Like office is desk. Me, I'm an art and crafts person. I have a workshop, which is my home. But basically, my life is kidnapped by actual rapists and murderers who are harbored next door. They exist for that 24/7. My technique. What would I say? So I just wonder. I just wonder how do they exist. So I think I've contacted both the Emmerson Mnangagwa and Chiwenga's offices, and the guys who answered their phones and things like that. Like they are very useless and things like that. He's talking about industry. We see him speaking in terms of convention anoungana businesses. We have trade fairs in Zimbabwe munomu. They happen. Yes, in Zimbabwe we have people who are self-made, but that which we call industry is not sustainable. We have no commerce in Zimbabwe. We have small businesses. We have people arikuvura chigayo cheflower, chigayo chehupu, chotoitwa official opening na Mnangagwa. And that is so petty. But him being there, ndo chinjana chirimo munyika. Uya waka chigayo is a hero. He's done something. He's a hero. But us, let us not have a mindset yekufunga kuti zvinhu zvakaoma kuita. So in that regard, I discover that industry, you need 10 licenses to be in that food manufacturing in. That involves what people eat. 10 licenses, of which all of them are illegal. We only need Standardization Association of Zimbabwe, SARS. When we even buy South African products like this one here, upon a Standardization Association, but it's ISO which deals with this one. Why? For international tradability, because they are required. They are required conditions. The same ISO, Standardization Association of Zimbabwe, yet no number electrical equipment, IEEE, which deals with that. When we're talking about what reality is, what doing business straight up is, what are the laws that govern fair trading and etc. So we are already created. We are here. We have this one version. We are here to create true products. You cannot create a fake product and sell it and be able to make money. But the reason why we say comply with my standards, if you're going to be supplying my wholesalers, we need safe products, because at that time we cannot afford to risk my lives. 100 things like that. Do you need to be training? So in Zimbabwe, anybody can start their organization. Yesterday we did do suits as ZANU-PF vigilante, anti-Mnangagwa anti-criticism group. I don't know if any government of Zimbabwe would recognize such people. That would be the job of the Registrar General. I don't know who the current Registrar General is, but I think he is not voted into power. He's somebody who needs to be educated. So people who deal with actual merit, they wouldn't be dealing with such nonsense in an actual nation. Yes, they can coerce my priest just because running around a kuru, 20, 34 years, things like that. However, they wake him. Supervisor, but it's obvious. It's obvious. Our lifespan is very low, things like that. So we see them posing. Watch it on our videos. So a vigilante group. What is Chiwenga talking about in terms of industry? In Zimbabwe, there is no private security. There is no security. ZANU-PF itself can house any criminal, and they can claim to be ZANU-PF. Like here, the people harassing me, we see them at one point telling me to kill myself. Why? Politics. I've always been a politician. Saka. Like the ghetto mentality. Politics. Alright. Shisha not the politics here. But I always remind myself, Kuche, they are not flesh and blood. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. They are those that are evil possessed, demon possessed. They are not evil spirits, wicked people. We see mentioned in the Bible. They do exist. When we work as Zimbabweans, a mutual respect, we no longer have that. It's good we are where we are right now, because when we recover from this, we are not going to be going back to where we see people can individually and isolated and vulnerable until we don't have any industry in the nation. We don't have anybody doing anything. Because the same criminal nonsense who has been robbing people in Harare CBD, they did that for 30 years. Imagine if they did that for 30 years and in every hour they are victimizing a person. For 30 years, how many people? At least 600,000 people. When they got victimized, I'm talking about if it's one criminal. And a shadow in town. Things like that. When Mnangagwa is talking about industry, these guys in office, they should know they are not industrialists. They are not business guys. We cannot go forward when we still have people like Walter Mzembe in prison. And even this, I'm forgetting the name, the youthful minister who's arrested in 2017, who becomes temporary minister of finance. He's still there. And may God protect him. May he have a good life, actually. May God protect him. 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 You okay? Why do you imprison those people? Because you can murder people during an election. The same we see happening in Tanzania. I'm not gonna be here to say we forgive you. It doesn't exist. You're murderers. You're murderers. People are already murdered. You are still murderers. May God reward you accordingly. Father, don't forgive them, for they know what they do. What then does it mean to those that one who is already died, who's already dead? Are they resurrected like Christ?
Chiwanga factory acho kuti vanhu vaone
pamberi na Chiwenga tazve mabasa. Pamberi na Chiwenga. Just for that. I respect him for that. I respect him for that. ZANU-PF has become so dirty and so nonsense. 2030 Roteriki. I'm not saying to pretend out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. You cannot be a pretender and have anything that makes sense inside you. The only thing you have is my emotion. Hi, wow, how would she go? Next time I know, hi, wow, how would she you? Don't listen to those, they are called emotions. My sound effects that make my hip hop spoken with their Eminem. How you shut it up, you shut it up, please sign up. At this point, that things like that. Things like that. So I'm not here to be explaining or teaching anybody drama and the primary. All right. But just in case maybe there's somebody who may not understand it. But people who listen to my channel, you can't be listening to this level when you're not going to say anything. Only want to meet up people on a video.
Mabasa. Asi ndoda kuti kwamuri imi vechidiki hakuna munhu anochauya kuno achizovakira muZimbabweni basa ringava refactory.
That is very true. The message ungotaura kwechiwenga wotoramba wakashinga hauna kufa kayo woramba wakashinga ndiwe puti wane yasara iwewe. May God protect you actually. Tombomira zvekuda kutyika kuti nasingatyisa apa totyikani munyika munomu. Mnangagwa is not a threat. So who is the threat? Atoriwo clueless. Why can't you, as ZANU-PF, mobilize yourselves? Because Mumadofo is sure. Nemba was sure. Right? But Almike Chimombe, venue party. I'm doing it because it's a presentation. What I do, can I use my tender? I'm not over union party. My advantage, if we remember a party, can I Zimbabwe no triple C? Can I win a triple C? But triple C never managed, not nation building, political party building, family building. ZANU-PF as an institution is not solid, it's fragile. It is the only institution in Zimbabwe. Just because it is the only institution, it will survive. Maybe until 2028, when we as Zimbabweans can just vote. Not because we are voting anybody into power. We can just vote wildly. Just to make vote for anybody else. We cannot be organized to that level. We cannot. Right now we still have social, spiritual security. There is no war in Zimbabwe, there is peace. There is no mind of rebellion or creating wars. We don't have mind yema vigilante atukona kuti nonsense kumbari uku. All right. Madezi amaita ndinofana baibe. Mishirunga na chipangano. Amuna kurongeka nditika. Never think you. Anyways, those guys, they cannot afford to watch a video like this one. They exist to not because they're coming from Bari. So I cannot be seeing what happened. Who looted Mbari, whoever you are. It's small things to deal with because we just need to assess any situation as is. Me as a person in my personal capacity, anybody who is willing to have me as a witness of God, I am there. And I can witness for God. God is in me. And in you, if He is in you. It's all that matters. That which we are, that which we live, that which makes us alive today. At the same time, I'm mentioning God because the Satanists, the perpetrators of the devil, the powers behind me are stronger than the powers behind you. I don't need to tell you that. You know that you are of the devil. So we cannot be going after the children of God because we hate ourselves. We don't have sexual education. Herd morality. Mass mentality. Makasara. Photoshopping. Itema photoshopping mshitama tree planting ya shirinani. What else are we bringing anybody to inspire our kids in our schools? Are we doing some workshops for them, school leavers? In South Africa, there is dance matrix, so how it helps shape them. In Zimbabwe, we have it's not a beer hole. We no longer have beer holes in public toilets. ZANU-PF HQ. My beach party chichi. That was music 10 years ago, 2005. 15 years ago. 20th April, I'm robbed Banaba. 2015, my machines are stolen at 5:30. After Nambubido account, I'm only realizing, these fools were the perpetrator. Because I'm not watching, I'm not ignoring also. As we progress, as the spirit leads. But we're seeing our words coming from Vice President Chiwenga there. We need more of that. Let us speak more and silence the devil's tools, the rhetoric is going to make sense. 2016 we allowed him to Ngube and we face ZANU-PF Masa. That's why he's very loud. I think 2030. He thinks he is actually powerful. He's not. Okay. And anybody who's involved in coup, I'm involved in the coup footy. Let's position it. So don't even think that. Don't even think that. Don't even think that the only hero is Chiwenga. And shut up. We can't not be continuing the behavior change that wunji. We don't disrespect people. I have no respect for change that wunji. He's a loser, a lunatic. Matunga miro mesa na change that wunji mimi. Msha nonsense. Asi vanhu vakuru tongoti akatimire chiZimbabwe chekuda kuti vanhu vakuru make it sound nice. Ndo inonzi serpent, ndo nyoka, Satan, the deceiver. You cannot be polite and be killing people softly. That is the number one tool of the devil. We are here to be explicit. We are here to be rude. We are not here to be telling you pamata. No. When we're talking about what matters, maybe Monomtapa, the master of Matope, Mataka, who shapes Harare. We're not here to say that. That's why you create the sick when you don't have a local industry. Maria is Mari. Mari is currency. Currency which is needed, the need of which is created by local industry. How can you have currency without which to current to Korea?
Kunavo vanenge vachita ndoda kuti kwamuri imi vechidiki hakuna munhu anochauya kuno achizovakira muZimbabweni basa, ringava refactory, ringava remumining, ringava
yeah, it's a good message. I'm going to present the point. I'm going to, you have to do it yourselves, fellow Zimbabweans. We have to do it ourselves. We have to do it ourselves. We can only change our mindset when we destroy this illusion of a monster called ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF in a power. You know, we're in a power because we think in a power. The same way we are in a power because we think we are in a power. That faith, that fiat, our perception, what it means. It means what it means. Do you matter? Anturigo, you matter. So matter. I want to put under one, fingers and under one. You don't basa. Uri one. You are yourself. Even when God sends Jesus, he's one guy. Abraham is one guy. Daniel is one guy. Yes, maybe some guys are sent as a group. Some guys are sent maybe as British South Africa company. They're bringing us education and the Bible in itself. But from who we are running our own administration, we can say Zimbabwean. At least they should don't Peter say. In Zimbabwe, like, and this is bigger. I'm an example of giving myself or whatever that means. To whatever it means, that's for me. But there's so much we need to do to create a nation.
Industry, kunga tourism, kunga kukurima. Ari kutoya kuzosko kutorera zvinhu zvakachenda kusha kwake.
All right, may God bless Chiwenga there for that. We see him again speaking against the matter of people in, but he's there. In Tanzania, Tanganyika, in Zanzibar. Now we see Tanzania President Samia Suluhu Hassan. I'm going to use the language we're seeing on the screen there, used by the journalists there. Our perception of English and our communities, conformity, social conformity, how subtle it is. We as Africans, we are enthusiastic people. We are people with love. Hence, the vulnerability of the tools of the devil. That's why we see even in South Africa. Fellow South Africans, they have no problem with any Africans. They are loving people, welcoming more than any other nation. That's why we even work in South Africa. But we see xenophobia in South Africa. Anytime there's a xenophobic attack, it's perpetrated by 6-7 people. There are things that happen. I don't want to use the word mob psychology because I don't want to make criminals who think they are criminals who think they are using psychology, who are basically harassing people, thinking there's some kind of magic that makes you use another person. What it means, mental well-being, things like that. It's as simple as if you have a headache, maybe you take some painkillers, analgesics, whatever they are, however they work. It's as simple as that. You need to be cooking food, you just cook it on a cooker or on firewood. That is knowledge. How do we create clothes? Things like that. People are so superstitious. They operate in reverse. To an extent, you see, I don't think I know when pass payment pashabula sada. Like you mutuka umbira, pass payment to Vorona Chiwenga. No, they just sada. Anybody, they do that to victimize other people who they terrorize. Like the group I see at my house, I wonder who they terrorize. I just wonder. I find out. Should I do that? So I'm not looking for that. So we see Samia Suluhu cited here. Samia Suluhu, she's making this video following the Cyril Ramaphosa video because she views herself also as an African president. She is not going to stay because I say so. Am I going to be part of the people who remove here? I hope we will not reach there. Very fastest or latest, whenever it happens. We cannot deal with the issue of Africa in dealing with one country. We deal with it once and for all. Should I be considering doing something? Whatever it is, it's not an election, obviously. It's not a war, it's something else. Whatever it is, there is always that. I'm actually alive. For behold, I'll do new things. He does exceedingly abundantly above that which we ask for. I haven't asked for anything. What I asked so far, Mari will say 9 and they don't want to see nonsense. Because that's disgusting. Samia Suluhu, we're not going to go into a speech. We can go into here. Okay, I didn't want to listen to what she's saying there because I don't want the languages to affect my language.
Halafu wanahoji kwa nini 97%? Kwa nini isiwe? Waswahili wanasema pauku.
I'm avoiding these languages. There's something about our language that happens. Whatever it is, I'm not here to speak on that. Okay, I'm not here to speak on that. I'm not here to speak on that, but we see people talk about etc. What it means, it's just something which has to be looked into carefully.
Pakawa wao hawakuwepo, na wale 16 waliokuwepo ni wadogo sana. Wao ambao wangetingisha CCM hawakuwepo.
So when you see a person speaking like this, whatever she's saying, it's an entitled ordinary, not peasant speaking party. Zimbabweans, let me just give an example. Achiite kuchione ningirikini. Mwana mdiki akabada futa chishuda ashura imwe mukuru. Achiite. Kana sure. Sekuru ane 8 years enda kuchipatara vanorapwa na doctor ane 40 years. Like kuti logic thing is called logic. As in sorrow, my tools of the devil, they are void of any meaning. They are void of any bread of life. What the word means, in the beginning was the word and the word was God. We think we hear words. Do we hear words? Are we conscientious? Meditate upon the word day and night. From Santa Kuna Bible, manji. Laws of Moses, parables, proverbs. It's a script or a text. So when you create printers, it's my engineer. When we do create printers, some of us don't exist. We exist to create what is not yet in the world. I personally can't. That's my existence. So I am not ZANU-PF petty or ZANU-PF cheap. And it's a value that nobody can accord unto me because people are jealous also, but and I know who I am and things like that. I'm not worried going to create others. I do what I do. Nobody is allowed. By me, I am me. Whatever you do, tell that to yourself. When you're meditating on your own word, what does it mean meditate on the word? You just meditate on it. Don't worry, meditate, you screaming. Keep on repeating. It works on itself. You are so fed with so much information that you don't even have time to try. As long as you don't want to much legit. Let us not have that belief, because our belief shapes us also in that. Some things are phantom, some things are not. Spiritual things can be phantom. Mental things cannot be phantom when you're active. What is mental, what is mind, things like that. Samia Suluhu thinks she is Ramaphosa. What happened in Tanzania is evil spirit and death. I'm not here to play his video. I'm here to say, if she thinks she's gonna win over, that is nonsense. The most honorable thing you can do is resign, and it's up to the family of the murderers, of those who murdered, how they're gonna be dealing with you. Between you and your God, it's between you and your God. I condemn you. I don't approve of you. And may the Spirit of God help us. The same God you see dealing with Nebuchadnezzar. Do help us. I see Americans praying. Dr. Clarence, TV7 live at the state of the kingdom of God. I'll be back again, ladies and gentlemen. So bear with me. I'm not consistent because of my next door. They like the extra existence. Like you have to keep a peace of mind clean, things like that. Things like that. So basically, I'm just waiting on God. And let's see what he'll do.